What's up, ballers? Jacob here with the AllDriveNoDrop podcast. It is a solo pod this week. Tickle my pickle is off traveling the world, so you just get all Jacob this week. We're going to get into it. Had a really good weekend. It was my, had some birthday celebrations, attended the baby shower, was watching all the Pickleball World Championships. The games were excellent, so those are up on YouTube now. If you've missed any of those or you didn't check it out, go check it out. Those games are awesome. I'm going to be talking about those today. I'm not going to talk about pro pickleball all the time, but I think these World Championships were excellent, and I actually want to go next year because the Pickleball Boulevard looks awesome. Also going to talk about the Chorus Fires and my first impression today. Got those over the weekend, and I just got to hit with them literally hours ago as I'm recording this. Held off on recording so I could give you my first impression because I know a lot of people have been looking at those. And then also the new Chorus Shapeshifter, now that they have all three shapes. We'll talk a little bit about those. So we're going to start off with the What the Pickle segment today just to have a little fun. And we do have the first sponsor for the show or any segments. It is Enhanced Pickleball, the maker of the Dink Master Pro, something I've been using a ton lately. The Dink Master Pro is just really useful if you want to be able to get touches in at home, and the board itself is just so much more useful than your basement wall, your garage wall. Being able to tilt it a little bit really gives you a more realistic shot coming off of it and a more consistent shot. And there's just so much more you can do with it than using it against a wall. And I've been testing my paddles. I've been training on it. It's just really useful. And they're having a big sale right now. It's usually $420. It's down to $300 at the moment. And you can get another $15 off with code AllDriveNoDrop, bringing it down to $285. So go check out the Dink Master Pro, my favorite pickleball training tool right now. And happy that they're the first sponsor of the AllDriveNoDrop podcast. So let's get into What the Pickle this week, which is really the only criticism I have of the World Championships, is the aerial drone view. I'm not really sure if someone got a drone and they really, really wanted to use it this week, but they were going wild with this drone. They were doing this top-down aerial view, and they just kept going higher and higher and higher. And they weren't using it a ton, but they were using it enough where I was getting really annoyed because when you do that top-down aerial view, everything just the people just start looking like ants, and you can see the ball a little bit still, but you have no idea the height of the ball. So you're watching, some ants and a ball, and you really don't know what's going on. So I don't know who decided that aerial view was going to be included, but it's terrible. And then I saw they were doing some views where the camera was moving around a lot, and I'm like, it doesn't really make sense, when the players, they're not stationary, but they're standing on the kitchen line and you're going back and forth, and it's kind of making me dizzy. So and then the drone view, they're going all over with that a couple times. I get they're experimenting with things, but it was just leaving me not excited to watch that drone view. So please get rid of the aerial drone view if you saw that and you weren't liking it, or let me know if you're liking it. Honestly, I just don't see how you could really pay attention to what was going on because you really need to see the height of the ball. Anyway, I do actually have another thing in What the Pickle. It was the Travis Rettenmeyer and Zane Navratil match against I think it was Stackstrud and Matt Wright. There was a challenge. So there was a challenge and then an overrule of the call, and then they challenged the challenge, and this thing took 15-20 minutes to resolve. It's just not something we can have going on the court, arguing over, once the challenge is made and the ref makes the call, and then they're calling in more refs, and it's just we're sitting there waiting. It's just terrible if you're going to ever have this on live TV. It just can't happen. And I know that the pros and the PPA and everyone that's involved in professional pickleball, their end goal is to have this on mainstream TV. So we definitely can't be having those breaks. You're never going to see that in an NFL game or NBA game. Sometimes I do take maybe 3-5 minutes, but it can't be going 15-20 minutes. That's just wild. So I still not 100% everything that was going on in that one. I know Travis posted something on his Instagram, and I'm sure he'll talk about it in detail since he was, involved in the situation. But yeah, it's something always seems to go down with Travis. He's always getting involved. Zane's always getting involved in these problems, and Stackstrud seems to be finding his way into these problems as well. So I'm not saying it's their fault, but they do seem to be around the trouble quite often. Anyway, that's just my What the Pickle. That is sponsored by Enhanced Pickleball. Thank you very much for the first sponsor of the show. Now, I'm going to start recapping some of the things that I saw in World Championship. We'll kick things off. Actually, we're going to slide. Well, let's talk. I'm going to talk about men's doubles, and then I'll talk about some of the paddles, and I'll switch back in. I'm going to mix it around. So, men's doubles. CJ Klinger and Kwangdong were very, very fun to watch, and they smoked the Johns brothers. I mean, they had some. It was a little close at first, but they beat them in two, and they were lighting them up. They were getting their speed ups. They were body bagging. The way QD Kwangdong, I'm gonna call him QD. The way QD hits his speed ups and some of his drives, he really holds it to the last second and does a great job with not giving away the direction of his shots. And it's very hard, especially, with how fast and how much spin he gets on those speed ups, to be ready for it when you're not sure to the last moment that he hits it where it's going. And Ben and Colin were having a big problem with both of the speed ups, and the way QD hits his drives really low is perfect. Klinger has a lot of reach, and he was able to get in there, poach, do all the stuff, the great righty-lefty combo. It was working very well. So after I watched that game, I thought that Klinger and QD, I'm like, their teamwork and just their communication was really good. After almost every point, they're talking. I don't know if this is their very first partnership, but they definitely haven't played a ton together, at least in the pro tournaments. It was just excellent that they were communicating after everything. So I don't see that all the time where you're talking so much and you're really planning what you do in the pros. I mean, a lot of times I see the pros just kind of walking back whatever, but that's great. That teamwork was excellent. I hope to see them again. I really thought they were going to go all the way after watching that, but I mean, of course, anything can happen day to day. It's hard to keep that consistency and high level play going. But after they beat the Johns brothers so bad, I thought that they had a chance, but they lost to. So they ended up losing to Tellez and Deco Bar, and they won the first game. It was an excellent game. I think it was they lost 14, or they won 14-12, and then they lost the next two. They just weren't executing at the same level they had been earlier in the tournament. It was more, I don't think they were getting outclassed. I think they were just not making the shots they had been making, and that just happens. Anything can happen on any given day. So hope to see them again in the future. Patrick Quinn and Newman ended up winning gold. They were playing great, and they really didn't have much trouble with Tellez and Barr in the championship. Newman and Patrick Quinn, I think that was a first-time pairing, and I think this might be Riley Newman's first gold of the year. He's had a rough year. He's been bouncing around partner to partner, and at the start of the year, he wasn't even sure if he was going to play. But it was, great teamwork. They picked their speed ups really well. They both have amazing hands. This team is very hard to play. Once they get to the net, I wouldn't say I don't know if their drives are insane, but man, these two at the net, they both just have amazing hands and speed ups. So great there. And then I'll touch on the women's gold real quick. The Roar Rocker and Anna Bright team, a.k.a. the Girlies, they took down Catherine Parento and Anna Lee Waters, of course, who, just been smoking people all year. This one was a case of Rohrabacher and Bright were playing very, very well, and it just seems like Anna Lee and Parental just didn't come to play for this one, which is very strange because usually Anna Lee's just, she's always ready to go. I just didn't feel like they were, they didn't play their normal game, and you can't do that against the girlies when they're on fire. And the girlies have been getting a lot better. It seems like they're getting better every time they come out. So I think next year is going to be a lot harder for Annalie to keep that, win streak, or not just win streak, but keep getting all of those podiums and triple crowns. I think Rohrabacher and Bright are going to maybe start coming out 50-50 against them. We'll see. But this was a great win for the girlies. They played amazing. Always fun to watch them. I've been a huge Anna Bright fan for a long time, so I was glad to see them get the win. And those games were 4-8-6, so never really got close except for that 8 game. They did a great job. So next up, we had the women's singles. Annalie Waters won. No surprise there. She was down game 1, 7-3 to Kate Fahey. And she just rattled off 8 straight points to take the win. And then the next game, kind of close, 11-8. But, I mean, I really just never felt like it was in doubt. She knows just something about her drive. And, after, losing and then you take that win, great day. But I think next year, for sure, for singles, with all of the women entering from tennis and getting better and better, I think it's going to be harder for her. You start to see her get pushed more and more, and I think that some of these women that have came in at the end of the year or in the beginning of the year, they're going to start turning the corner, and we're going to see something, I think we're going to see more Annalie losses. I mean, of course, she's still going to make it, but I just don't think she's going to be winning at the same rate that she will be next year. So next up, we have the men's singles, and the men's singles, and so QD played really well this tournament. He played in the bronze match. He ended up not winning, but he was playing very, very well. But unfortunately, he ran into who I thought was going to end up winning the men's singles tournament after I saw him rolling. Michael Lloyd played Stackstrud in the finals, and Lloyd lost 3-7. It wasn't a great finals. Congrats to Stackstrud. But Lloyd was playing out of his mind. He beat Ben Johns and JW on his way to getting to the finals and QD. So he had, I think he's the 21 seed. He had the hardest draw by far to get to the finals, and he was beating the best of the best to get there. And the guy just, really, really humble guy in his interviews. Seems like an awesome guy. So I'm really excited to see him play more. I wasn't always a big singles fan, but I do enjoy watching it from time to time. And it's always good when you have, some interesting personalities out there. And he just has a great play style, able to just get so much spin on his balls. So look forward to that. Congrats to Lloyd for the silver and Stackstrud for the gold. Mixed doubles, it's what you expect. Annalie, Ben Johns, they beat Christian Elshon, Ederite, 9-5-2. Wasn't really close. Wright and Elshon looked like they kind of might have been able to do it in the first game, but then Annalie and Ben Johns, they just turned on the pressure. And, once they turn it on, it's just like when they flip the switch, you can just tell. It's like, oh, man, I think it's going to be over. And it was. I think out of all the events, Annalie and Ben Johns are going to have the easiest time continuing to win golds in mixed doubles. When you look at any of the events, I think that is the hardest team to beat. If they just have such a good connection. They've been playing so long together. Annalie's the best female. Ben's the best male for now. And that combo is just really, really hard to beat. They're just so good and have good chemistry, and you can never count them out even when they're down. Great stuff there. Not really the greatest final to watch. Game 1 was pretty good, but after that, if you're looking to something to watch, not the best. But I'd go watch. My favorite match was the CJ Klinger and QD match against the Johns Bros. That was my favorite match to watch. That was excellent, excellent, excellent pickleball. So now we will transition to talking about some paddles. First I will talk about a little update of the kitchen bag. So kitchen bag has been rocking this kitchen bag for 3 weeks now, I think. And it has been excellent. I've really been enjoying the ball pocket with the magnet. Just so easy to get in there, get your balls, boom, boom, super smooth. And then you have these side pockets that have magnets. You can put your water bottle in there. Magnet goes back up. Just super high quality. I've been really enjoying it. It stands up on its own, so that's great. And because a lot of bags they fall over very easily. It has this flat bottom, very sturdy, waterproof. Tested that out a few times by accidentally spilling my water on it, but no problem because it's water. Water's not getting on the inside, so that has been awesome. I think they've been doing some sales lately. So if you are looking to get the kitchen bag, I think now's the time to get in on that, because I've seen some sales lately, and I don't know what else they have planned. But code AllDriveNoDrop always gets you free shipping on there, so check that out. But now we will move on to the Chorus Fires and the Shapeshifter shapes. So they now have the wide body and the hybrid and the elongated. Before they just had hybrid. They also did change their hybrid to more of a... Did I bring that down? I didn't bring the... Well, I have the hybrid in the fire that you'll see in a second. But I did get a chance to play with the new shapeshifters, and the elongated and the wide body and the new hybrid all feel really good. They increased the pop a little bit. Maybe a slight increase for the power in the hybrid. Definitely an increase, obviously, with the elongated. I like these paddle covers they got. So they have orange paddle covers for all the shapeshifters. And then they have red for the fire paddles, of course. So good. If you like the previous shapeshifter, I think you will like the new hybrid, just as much, if not more. And then the wide body and the elongated also feel really good. If you will try the shapeshifter original OG version and you're like, oh, I want that, but I want it in, the elongated or wide body, I think it's going to be a great fit. So let's talk about the Chorus Fires, because these have been long anticipated. I've been looking forward to them for a long time. So you have all the shapes now. So EX for the elongated. You have the HX for the hybrid. And you have the SX for, you can call it wide body or standard, but I'm going to call it wide body. So how do they play? So I put time on all of these today, just so I can give you my first thoughts. Initial thoughts, first thoughts. Played with a couple other paddles just to kind of get a feel for comparisons. Really focusing on the hybrid today, though, because you have the Vatic Sagas coming out and you have the Neonic Flow Prime X coming out. So I wanted to focus on this hybrid first. So the hybrid, how does the hybrid compare to all those other ones coming out? And of course, the Spartus Olympus, one of my favorites on the market. So if you take this, the Spartus Olympus, the Vatic Pro Saga Flash, and the Neonic Flow Prime X, this actually has the most pop of all of them. So if you like poppy paddles, this is going to be a great one for you. Has more pop than the Olympus, and it is pretty stiff, and you do feel the vibration. So that's one big area that I need to highlight is especially with the hybrid and the elongated, you are going to feel some vibration, and these are stiff, and they all get great spin, but they're very stiff and they have some vibration in them. The wide body, it's a little bit, but really not as noticeable as the hybrid and the elongated. So I want to clear that up right away. Swing weights on these, I think the wide body is like 108, hybrid's 113, elongated's 116. So good swing weights on them. Twist weights, I know the hybrid was like 6.45, and then I think the elongated was like maybe 6.1. And then the wide body, I want to say, was like 6.8, 6.9. I don't remember where I wrote them down, so we'll get back to that. But, right in the range of what you would think that all these shapes were. Nothing like standing out. All actually played pretty stably, so I'm happy about that. I think they all come pretty lightweight to like 7.8 ounces. So, poppier and stiff, and the power level. So the power level, pretty good. I personally think, so obviously there aren't any reviews on like the Saga yet, the Flow Prime X, but we'll compare it to the Olympus, and I'll talk about the other ones too. So this power level, it's close to the Olympus. And the Saga is right there with the Olympus. All three of these have a pretty close power level. I haven't ran any numbers on it, just me testing it in the wild. But the power level seemed about that Saga and Olympus level. So really, really good power, right? This isn't going to beat those Paddletech TKO, 12.7, 14.3. I think that those power levels are probably a little bit more, but the swing weights on those are also more and higher. And if we talk about the elongated, I think that the power level is pretty close, but I think just slightly under. I actually do think that the elongated and the hybrid, I think they do have more pop than the elongated Paddletechs. And the wide body has more pop than the 14.3 ESQ, and probably not as much as the 12.7 ESQ. So kind of slots in there, and then when comparing it to the Neonic Flare Prime X, it's going to have more pop than that, and I think it might have more power too, but we'll have to get more time with the wide body to really see that. But honestly, just for how poppy and powerful they do have great sweet spots and control. I was having good success everywhere except for some touch shots around the net. My dinks and my flicks weren't the best with them right away, but that's just kind of what you expect with some really poppy paddles. But I I like the designs actually. This red handle with the red right here, and then these are polyester with carbon fiber, and there is a very thin layer of fiberglass on the top. And I don't know if Matt said it was the reason, but I believe it's the reason is like you put that thin layer of fiberglass on the top, and supposedly the peel ply will hold on there and last longer. I think that's the reason, so don't quote me. But it also could just be a little power and pop boost. I'm not sure. But these things, they have a ton of pop and really good power. So if that's what you're looking for, but they are on the stiffer side, have some of that vibration. So that is just one note I have to keep in there. I'm 100% positive on the stiffness and vibration. That is something I felt instantly, and the people I was playing with definitely was their first feedback is, wow, really good pop, but I can feel the vibration. So if you are not someone that likes to feel that, and some people do because it helps them know like when they mishit the ball a lot easier, just keep that in mind. Let's see, what else do we have to talk about paddle wise? We do have, so the Chorus Fires are coming out November 30th, so look for my full review on those. I am going to do some other breakdowns. I know people love the breakdowns. We are going to talk about just the releases. So that you have the Neonic Flow Prime, the Neonic Flow Prime X coming out November 19th. And right before that, you have the Vatic Saga, the Flash, and with the long handle and the short handle, and then the V7 with the long handle and short handle coming out this Friday. And then you have the Bread and Butter Invader coming out on the 29th. And I still have not hit that, but should be getting that in this week. Let's see. What else? Speed ups. I will talk about the Pyro specifically, but some of these things kind of apply to both. So when you have this extra long handle, you get less face on the paddle, right? And this is a soft paddle. Great control when you hit the sweet spot. Feels very plush. The problem is the sweet spot is already smaller because you have less paddle face. And this is not poppy. And for, being labeled Pyro 16 and it says power, it's really not that powerful. So unfortunately, I was a little disappointed with this one. Just want to let you guys know, who this paddle is for. If you really want a long premium handle and you're okay with the smaller sweet spot due to the smaller paddle face, you know, I just wasn't getting the power and pop that I was expecting for a power paddle. So this one, you know, it's not going to be for me, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's not for you. Now let's talk about the Vatic Saga. I've seen some different opinions on this, and who knows? Like, everyone's gonna think something different. I see different opinions on things all the time for paddles that I don't agree with, and that's just going to be everyone's personal experience based on what they've hit with and maybe just how they're playing that day. So for me, the Vatic Saga Flash short handle is what I put the most time in. I think I will have a review on the full series, mainly focusing probably on the flashes, but I'll talk about the V7s as well. They, for me, especially when I weight them up the same as I weight up my Olympus, I'm getting just as much power as I get from the Olympus. So great power. Now, where these differ is they get less pop than the Olympus. So if you want power, but you don't want too much pop, the Vatic Sagas are going to be a great fit for you. And also at that price point, that's going to be great too. So, you know, I think it's going to be $140 after discount. And I should have mentioned this earlier, but the Chorus Fires, I think, are going to be $153. So great price points all around. Some people like the pop, some people don't. These are just a little bit above average on the pop level, I would say. Very close. The Neonic Flow Prime X isn't out yet, but their pop level seems very similar to those. Just above like a J2K. Not too far away from that, actually. So if you were liking similar pop levels to like a J2K, it's probably just right around there, but in my opinion, a little bit above. And I've done my testing already, so my numbers were a little higher, but it's not too far away from a J2K if you've hit that. So I think that the Vatic Sagas are going to hit a great spot in the market, and it just depends. You know, some people are looking for the power and pop combo, some aren't. It just depends what you're looking for. But those are some exciting paddles coming out. Do I have anything else to talk about? Let's see. For paddle-wise, I don't think so. So we're going to be looking forward to, you know, all the Sagas, the new Neonic stuff, the Chorus Fires, the bread and butter Alien Invaders. That's really all I have today. Any bonus content I can give you? Yeah, that is about it. So we will wrap it up. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope everyone has a great weekend and week this week, and I'll be joined next week by David, aka Tickle My Pickle. Thank you very much for this short listen. I hope you enjoyed it. Drop it in the comments if you watched any Worlds this weekend or you're looking forward to a certain paddle. I want to hear what's cooking out there. Thank you very much. Go play some pickleball.